Part 1. The Recruitment, July 17, 2016. Hong Kong. A young man knocks frantically on a heavy glass door in the dead of night. It is not his hotel room, it is the Consulate General of the Republic of Korea. If this door opens, he lives. If it does not, he will almost certainly be dead by morning. Just 24 hours earlier, this 18-year-old mathematics prodigy stood on a brightly lit stage, accepting yet another silver medal for North Korea at the International Mathematical Olympiad. Now he is a fugitive on the run, but the most terrifying aspect of his situation is that he is not running away from a prison cell, he is running away from a recruitment offer. The regime of Kim Jong-un had selected him for its elite unit of state-sponsored hackers. His future had already been written: hacking foreign banks to steal billions, infiltrating global financial exchanges, writing the complex code for intercontinental ballistic missiles, and spending his life locked in an underground bunker executing the regime's darkest calculations. To understand the sheer panic driving Jong Yol-ri, we must look back to 2015. After returning from a successful math competition in Thailand, Ri noticed a chilling shift. Instead of the usual state-sponsored praise, high-ranking military officials began interviewing his teachers and family. In North Korea, when the military takes a sudden intense interest in a citizen, it only means one thing: you have been drafted into the shadow apparatus. The government did not want him to enter normal public service. They intended to weaponize his mathematical genius for the Reconnaissance General Bureau, North Korea's digital army. In North Korea, there is no option to decline. When the state chooses you, your personal life ends. He would be forever monitored, forever isolated, and forced to facilitate the regime's destructive ambitions. For a teenage boy who had tasted the freedom of the outside world during brief trips to international competitions, this future felt like being buried alive. Faced with permanent conscription, Ri made a calculation far more dangerous than any math problem he had ever encountered. He was going to run. Part 2. The Calculated Gamble. Leaving North Korea means crossing heavily fortified borders, guarded by soldiers with shoot-to-kill orders, navigating minefields, and evading a surveillance state that tracks every citizen. The Hermit Kingdom is a perfectly sealed trap. But a single variable emerged. The 2016 International Mathematical Olympiad was scheduled to be held in Hong Kong. While Hong Kong was Chinese territory, which was incredibly dangerous for a North Korean defector, it was also chaotic, sprawling, and home to a South Korean consulate. Crucially, this would be his final eligible year to compete as a high school student. This was his absolute last chance to escape. Before leaving for Hong Kong, Ri broke the cardinal rule of living in a dictatorship. He told someone his plan. He confided in his father, a middle school mathematics teacher who had taught his son to love numbers. The father listened in stunned silence as his son confessed his intention to commit treason. His father's eyes filled with terror, but also with overwhelming pride. In a stunning act of sacrifice, his father pressed $200 in foreign currency into Ri's palm. North Korea enforces a brutal policy of collective punishment, meaning 3 generations of a family are sent to labor camps for the crime of one defector. Ri's father helped him anyway, knowing full well the agonizing consequences that awaited him once his son vanished. Ri hugged his father tightly, memorizing the pressure of his arms. He knew he would likely never see his parents again. He boarded the plane to Hong Kong with his school team, carrying only a few clothes, his textbooks, and $200. He had one shot at freedom. Part 3. The Window of Opportunity, July 2016. 6 member teams from around the globe gather at the Hong Kong University of Science and Technology. On the surface, Ri is just another diligent contestant scribbling equations on a whiteboard. Inside, his mind is racing, pre-calculating an escape route where every single variable could result in his death. North Korea's delegation operates under strict lockdown protocols. The head coach immediately confiscated all passports upon arrival. The students have no smartphones, no internet access, and no unsupervised movement. A government-appointed handler monitors them constantly. It resembles a school field trip crossed with a hostage situation. Ri smiles and plays the role of the loyal student while scanning the environment for weaknesses. He notices that the Olympiad is taking place on a bustling university campus. There are no armed guards. The North Korean teachers rely entirely on psychological intimidation and strict routine. As the exams progress, Ri refines his master plan. He must slip out of the dormitory after everyone is asleep, reach the Hong Kong International Airport, and find a South Korean citizen who can connect him to their consulate. He does not know where the consulate is located, and he cannot search online. The airport is neutral ground, full of potential allies. It is a desperate gamble. On July 16th, his hard work pays off. He earns his 4th consecutive silver medal. The North Korean team poses for official photographs. Ri forces a wide grin while his mind counts down the hours. The contest is over. That night, the organizers throw a lavish closing banquet. The North Korean minders finally relax. The competition has concluded successfully, and they believe their star student will dutifully board tomorrow's afternoon flight back to Pyongyang. They have miscalculated. Part 4. The midnight run around 2 o'clock in the morning, a heavy silence falls over the campus. Ri slides from his bed, fully dressed. His pulse is hammering so loudly he fears it will wake his sleeping teammates. He has hidden his silver medal and his official certificate inside his small backpack. He will need proof of his identity to convince South Korean officials. The $200 sits safely in his sock. He has no passport and no identification card. He inches the door open and pads down the empty corridor. When he reaches the lobby, he sees a local security guard dozing at the front desk. Ri slips past him, holding his breath, and steps out into the thick, humid air of Hong Kong. He flags down a passing taxi. "Airport, please," he says in broken English. The sun will rise in about 2 hours. His absence will be discovered shortly after. Right now, nobody in the world knows he is gone. That is his only advantage. At 4 o'clock in the morning, Ri steps from the taxi into the massive departures hall of Hong Kong International Airport. He is just a skinny teenager with a backpack, but paralysis is a luxury he cannot afford. He scans the terminal and spots the blue and white logo of Korean Air above a check-in counter. Ri approaches the airline supervisor and speaks quietly in Korean. "I need to go to South Korea. Can you help me?" The woman blinks, assuming he is a lost teenager. Before she can respond, he leans closer. "I am from North Korea." The woman's eyes widen in shock. A senior station manager is immediately called over, and they usher Ri aside. He quickly explains everything: the mathematics contest, the midnight escape, and the terrifying future waiting for him back home. The manager dials the South Korean consulate. The diplomats on the phone are initially skeptical, but the details check out. However, they deliver a crushing reality. International protocol absolutely forbids them from sending a diplomatic vehicle to pick him up. Doing so could severely provoke the Chinese government or give North Korea the legal grounds to claim kidnapping. He has to reach the consulate alone without getting caught by the authorities. The airline manager scribbles an address on a piece of paper: the Far East Finance Center, located in the Central Business District. Part 5. The Sanctuary and the Siege. Outside the airport, he hails another taxi. By now, the sun is rising. His handlers have definitely discovered his empty bed. Panic is spreading through the North Korean delegation. He knows that if North Korean agents or Chinese police find him first, he will be deported directly to Pyongyang, a death sentence. The taxi drops him off in front of a massive glass skyscraper. Inside, Ri scans the building directory and finds the Consulate General of the Republic of Korea on the 5th floor. He takes the elevator up and approaches the frosted glass doors. 2 local security guards block his path, informing him that visiting hours have not yet started. Ri blurts out urgently, "I am a North Korean student. I need asylum." Realizing the gravity of the situation, the guards rush him through a metal detector and into a secure waiting area. South Korean consular officers appear, looking utterly astonished. "I defected," Ri says, his voice cracking. "I cannot go back." He is offered a glass of water. As he gulps it down, reality sinks in. By international diplomatic law, he is physically standing on South Korean territory. North Korea cannot touch him here. For the first time in his life, Ri breathes free air. But the relief is brief. This tiny consulate office is not a teleportation device. He is still in the middle of Hong Kong, on Chinese soil, and a dangerous geopolitical standoff over his life has just begun. Within hours, the Hong Kong police, acting under guidance from Beijing, deploy plainclothes officers to monitor every entrance of the building. They do not storm the consulate, but they ensure no one unauthorized leaves. The consulate enters a state of lockdown. Ri is given a small, windowless storage room to sleep in. Days bleed into weeks as intense. Secret negotiations play out between South Korea, China, and North Korea. Sending Ri back would be a global public relations disaster for China, but allowing him safe passage to Seoul could enrage Kim Jong-un's regime. Ri is trapped in a nerve-wracking limbo. He paces in his small room, consumed by guilt. Has his father been arrested? Were his relatives sent to a prison camp? The psychological toll of the separation gnaws at him through long, sleepless nights. He distracts himself by playing video games on an offline computer and jogging on a small treadmill. It is deeply absurd. He is inside an office building, running on a treadmill. One of the world's most vibrant cities sprawls out, completely unreachable. Part 6. The departure. By late September, roughly 70 days after he first walked through the consulate doors, the diplomatic wrangling pays off. Beijing officially agrees to let him travel to South Korea. In a calculated diplomatic snub to Pyongyang, China has quietly given the green light for Ri's departure. Since he arrived with absolutely nothing, the South Korean government issues him a brand new passport under a pseudonym, Lee Jung-ho. Hong Kong immigration grants him a temporary tourist visa. These pieces of paper are his golden ticket out of the nightmare. They leave for the airport just after dusk in an unmarked consular vehicle. At the airport, Chinese plainclothes officers quietly accompany their group at a discreet distance, an informal assurance of safe passage. The same airport where he had begged for his life 2 months ago is now ushering him out under government protection. As he approaches the immigration counter, his heart pounds. The officer takes the passport, stamps it, and hands it back. There are no alarms. He boards the commercial flight to Seoul. Only when the plane accelerates down the runway and lifts off the ground does he exhale the breath he feels he has been holding for 70 days. He is finally, truly free. Part 7. The Price of Genuous. When Rai steps onto South Korean soil, the boy known as Ri Jong-yeol ceases to exist in the public record. In his place, Lee Jung-ho is officially born. He enters an intensive resettlement program for North Korean defectors. The culture shock crashes over him like a tidal wave. He must learn modern slang, adapt to new social norms, and navigate a fully stocked supermarket, basic experiences the Hermit Kingdom had denied him. Despite the trauma, his mathematical talent has not rusted. Within a single year, he passes the rigorous national entrance exams and gains admission to Seoul National University, the country's most prestigious college. It is a monumental triumph, yet it carries a heavy, unspoken heartbreak. Ri has not heard a single word from his parents since the day he left. He likely never will. He cannot risk making a phone call home, as doing so would only endanger them further. In later public statements, he actively downplays any help he received from his father, insisting he planned the entire escape completely alone. This is a calculated move to protect his loved ones from the regime's brutal policy of guilt by association. He traded his entire past for the chance at a future. Rai's successful defection deeply humiliated the regime in Pyongyang. For the next 2 entire years, North Korea refused to send a team to the International Mathematical Olympiad, freezing their academic program rather than risking another high-profile betrayal. When they finally resumed competing, they assigned government minders to watch every student's every move with unblinking paranoia. When Ri first landed in Seoul and was given access to an uncensored computer, one of his very first acts was creating an email account and typing the words North Korea into a Google search bar. It is a profound image, a young man forbidden from knowing the world, finally able to learn the harsh truths his country had spent his entire life trying to hide. Ri's story is a testament to the indestructible human desire for free will. But it leaves us with one haunting question. How many other brilliant generational minds remain trapped in the darkness of North Korea right now, silently calculating their own desperate equations for freedom?